Now, as I mentioned at the start of Mass, this weekend is the Sunday for Life, the Day for Life. And so there's a special letter being read out in all churches in the country, and it's from the bishop responsible for the Day of Life, Bishop Keenan of Paisley. And so this is what he has to share with us today. Dear brothers and sisters, today the Catholic Church in Great Britain and Ireland marks our annual Day for Life, established by Pope St. John Paul II in 1995, to foster recognition in our consciences, our families, our church, and in civil society of the value of human life at every stage and condition. It is a day that draws our attention to the seriousness of abortion and euthanasia, but also to other aspects of life deserving of our consideration. Over the years, the special collection taken up at Masses has helped to support survivors of sexual abuse and those with addictions, as well as caring for refugees and asylum seekers, even though our largest grants continue to fund traditional pro-life concerns such as abortion and euthanasia. This year, a bill has been introduced in the Holyrood Parliament to allow assisted suicide in Scotland for 16-year-olds and over, proposing that doctors hand a lethal concoction of drugs to patients to kill themselves. In countries where assisted suicide has been legalized, palliative care provision has stalled, and hospices refusing to offer assisted suicide have had their funding stopped, including Catholic hospices. This is why 3/4 of palliative care doctors in Scotland say they would refuse to participate in assisted suicide, and just under half will resign if required to administer it. In countries with assisted suicide, supposed safeguards have soon eroded to include people with arthritis, anorexia, autism and dementia, and even to include little children. Assisted suicide sends a message to disabled people that they are a burden and puts pressure on the vulnerable to opt to die, as in Oregon, where half of those who choose assisted suicide felt they were a burden on their families, communities, and healthcare system. When the elderly and disabled are worried about being a burden, our response should be to commit ourselves to providing care and compassion to help them have a life worth living. As Catholics, we offer such a vision to our loved ones who are suffering and approaching death in the hope of eternal life. Our faith teaches us that there is no such thing as a useless life, and to reverence the gift of life to its natural end. Our gospel calls us to protect the vulnerable from a culture that would pressure them into assisted suicide and support them with appropriate treatment and the best of care so that their last days can be times of grace, intimacy, and love. Jesus did not send the sick away, and Our Lady remained at the foot of the cross as her son died, as a model, really, of compassionate presence to the very end. People close to death often go through darkness and pain, but experience shows that they can come to a more complete understanding of their lives in treasured last moments if they're accompanied by spiritual care and the presence of the ones they love. This year, our Day for Life focuses on compassion and hope at the end of life. We hear Father George sharing his experiences as a hospital chaplain, especially his encounter with Francis, a lapsed Catholic and a convicted drug dealer with terminal cancer who doesn't have long to live. Father George accompanied Francis to reconciliation with the Church and to a beautiful death, leading him beyond his Calvary to the kingdom the Lord has prepared for him since the foundation of the world. Today's Day for Life is an invitation for all of us to renew our calling, personally and as a society, to care for others at the end of their lives, and to help our culture to see the end of life as an occasion for spiritual growth, filled with grace and love. And it ends with the assurance of prayer. It's signed Bishop John Keenan, the Bishop of Paisley. And today's second collection will be taken up for the Day for Life to support all of the pro-life agencies in the Catholic Church here in Scotland.